You're welcome to eat your cheese. Don't feel rushed.
Oh my god.
You can eat your cheese
This is
throughout the
my
interview.
fourth one. This is the carnage. My ADHD brain kind of goes everywhere. Cool. And I would be in full like clown makeup, scary, and they'll be like, mozzarella! And I'm like, hi.
Hi everyone, this is Let's Talk with Mel again, and we have Bella Mozzarella.
Hello, I have cheese.
Bella was given cheese for being here.
I was given cheese. I have been compensated for my time.
Calcium is very important, you guys.
Oh my goodness.
Thanks for being here, Bella.
Absolutely, thank you for having me.
Tell us a little bit about yourself.
So, I've been in the photo meet community for a little less than a year now. I have been in the haunt community for about 2 years now, and I'm kind of a clown by hobby, and then in Halloween, clown by profession. Because I do acrobatics, I do aerial silks, I own a unicycle, and I'm learning how to ride. I have a unicycle. And I got into like the photo meets just to have a creative outlet and be able to show other people my art.
Okay. What else do you do besides meat related stuff and spooky stuff? What do you like to do?
So again, I do aerial silks. So I'm an aerial silks instructor. I've been an instructor for about 3 years now. I've been doing it for almost 7 years. And that also includes like hoop, lyra, trapeze, any other like acrobatics things I enjoy, I love. In the process of teaching myself how to ride the unicycle, how to juggle. And I love art, so I make a lot of costume pieces. I invest a lot in making like my makeup and everything and like doing creative things. And I love to paint and do a lot of like I'm an artist in everything. I collect hobbies. That is my hobby.
Have I seen any of your costume pieces that you've created? You made the wings, right?
So the wings I wore to the MadMax shoe, I made in my timeshare the night before.
You had materials, or did you just
I bought these wings. They were like a weird, gross gray color.
Okay.
And I bought them off of a like costume warehouse sale. So I put them on my easel and I used a little spray with like fabric dye and I painted them that night. I made like bottle top kind of chains that were hanging from them. And then I had bones that were also hanging from them as well that I hand sewed into the wings.
Okay.
The skull I have in the back, I do a lot of hiking and community service. That deer skull I actually picked up from the Appalachian.
Okay.
And I brought him home. His name is Steven.
The skull's name's Steven, you guys.
The skull's name is Steven. All of my big complicated jackets I have. So I have a very complicated clown jacket that's almost floor length and has paintings all the way up the side. I made myself. And I just have so many little projects and things. And I also have a bottle tab vest I have for a upcoming original character costume, like a full vest of metal bottle tab chainmail monstrosity.
That sounds really cool.
It's very fun. It's very therapeutic.
Are you like needle thread sewing those on, or are you like crocheting it and then just putting it on as one piece?
So I have jewelry wire and I connect the tabs like together.
Yeah.
And I weave the wire through the tabs.
Okay. So it kind of jingles a little?
Just a little bit. And it actually, because it's connected by wire, it can actually bend in different shapes.
Okay, that's cool.
So it's and I'll put like on TV or a podcast or your interviews, and I'm just doing my little arts and crafts.
I love that.
My Etsy shop never got any traction ever. I always got the most support out of like my close friend group and people who knew me. So it became best to abandon the Etsy shop.
Cut out the middleman.
I actually ended up making things for friends and family and people who knew me, and it became a lot easier. And if I was being paid for my services, then like it would be like Venmo, Zelle, or anything.
Okay.
So I do like to sell my things occasionally. If someone be like, "Hey, I want you to make me something. Here's what I have in mind." So happy. I get so happy. I get so excited.
So if you guys have any costume ideas or need help with something, this is your go-to. I have some questions about MadMax, so I want to recap that a little bit. Which one was your favorite location?
Ooh, um, that weird kind of that car kind of sculpture. That was like it was taken apart, and there were like fabrics that were kind of blowing in the wind.
It was in the beginning, like the
Yes,
first area? Okay.
that was one of my favorites.
Okay.
I got some of my favorite photos from there, especially when I called Cindy up, and we got some photos together. We had a little Skelly gang moment. She had her sword, and I had my double barrel shotgun, and it was so fun. And I got some of my favorite photos from there. It looked so badass. And then also the swing, just the swing by the ocean. Um, I just I don't I got some photos from that, but I just had fun on that swing. I was climbing all over it. I was doing a bunch of things. At one point I was just swinging, and everyone had left by then. They're like, "Hey Bella, we need to go." I'm like, "But it's a swing."
Did you have any challenging moments that day?
The wind. The wind. Because I had these giant angel wings. And they were beautiful. I loved them. My favorite photos of me and Josh, and I have like my veil on, and I have like my wings. It's so creepy. It's so pretty. But between those shots, it's just my hair was going everywhere. During our shoot, Tara actually had to get me bobby pins and fix my hair because I had like my weird little side framing the face. But then they would go up in the wind and look really funky. And then I thought I was gonna blow away. I felt like I could fly. I could have. I think I could have. There would just be random photo meet, and then off in the distance, just Bella and her little trash angel wings, just away, away into the distance, into the Salton Sea. Oh, it was so much. It was so much trouble, and I think everyone said that. I don't know if
A lot of people mentioned the wind. I do remember during our shoot too, we had to fix your hair, move your wings, move this, move that. My hair was everywhere. The little cloth materials hanging on the car were blowing into us.
And it made the photos look really good.
Yeah.
Because it was so like it was cinematic.
Yeah.
It was like it was windy, there was dust everywhere, it was like crazy. Especially like the photos of like gazing off into the sunset, and like all your clothes are going everywhere and your hair is just whatever. But between the shots, oh my god.
It was good, and it was also a challenge.
Yes.
It was, yeah. Did you have any memorable moments from that day that you want to revisit? Anything that stood out and you're like, oh, this was just great?
One of my favorite moments was we were by like the door to nowhere. And one of the photographers pointed at Chicken and I, and he was like, "There is this moment from a movie. I don't know if it was like a Mad Max movie or something. He's like, I want to recreate it with you guys." And it was, I'm like kneeling down. He's above me, and he's resting his rifle like on my head, and I'm covering my ears because it's gonna be loud. And we're laughing the whole time, and you can see in that photo there's like genuine joy on our faces because at one point he says, "Oh, I want you to point towards where he's gonna shoot." And I'm like, "Oh, perfect." So the gun's facing this way, and my single brain cell turned on, and I'm like, "I'm gonna point the opposite direction." So we're looking here, and I'm pointing there, and Chicken has to take his hand, move my arm to where we're pointing, so we're here. And like right after that moment, we're laughing, and that's the shot he took.
That's good. I've seen that picture, and I like that. I always wondered, I'm like, this is I don't know if they're like just posing for it, if they were actually laughing, but that was like such a Harley Quinn Joker moment.
Oh my god, yeah, because we're laughing. They told you to point. I'm facing this way, and I point there.
That's great. I'm glad you mentioned that. I was wondering what was the story behind that.
You're stupid. We go. We're having the best time, and you can see that in the photos. Another time is we went into this room, and it was just like all of the photographers were surrounding one area. They were surrounding one model in a hallway, and she's beautiful. I love her so much. Tay, it was like that one moment, like there's like all the graffiti on the walls and everything. And I'm kind of standing off to the side. One of the photographers is like, hey, do you want to go and do something? We're going to explore. Let's take some photos. I'm like, sure. And we find this room and full of graffiti. And then we're taking photos, and then we notice in the background of the photo it says "eat ass." Yes. And then we're like, this is hilarious. And we go into the other room, more graffiti, "eat ass." And then Chicken again walks in, and there's a huge, almost like doorway window thing. And right above it, it says "eat ass or die." There's no context anywhere when we're walking out of that room. We're like, yeah, eat ass. And everyone's like, you guys are psychopaths. And we got a photo of both of us. We're facing our guns towards one direction. And it says, eat ass or die above it. And we just look like the booty brigade.
Okay.
We are the booty brigade.
I remember I was standing outside that building during that time, minding my own business, trying not to freeze to death. All of a sudden, this loud, towering voice goes, "Where's my eat ass crew?" I'm like, what? Which photo meet did I come to?
Oh
no,
my
that was
God.
funny. When did you realize you wanted to be a model?
It kind of just happened. I went to my first ever convention with Nameless, who is favorite clown, favorite payaso. And he likes to dress up, do original characters at photo meets and that kind of stuff. And I saw, this was just when Just Shoot It was first starting. And it was like one of their first meets. And he posted these beautiful photos from Pixel Girl photography. And I asked him, like, how do you get in contact with photographers? How do you get these amazing photos of your characters? And at this point, I just started making my own costumes. I just started, like, I made my first battle vest, and then I was making my whole cloak for it. And I wanted photos. And then I saw an ad posted by Tara, Pixel Girl, and she was looking for models to, like, kind of make some material to promote her new photo meet. So I hit her up. I'm like, I'm really interested, but I've never modeled before and everything. And we took some amazing shots. I have some photos of me with like sparklers. We have some photos with like smoke bombs. And I was wearing like this brand new jacket that I'd painted the night before, and brand new clown makeup and everything. And then I just started going to the meets. And then at the meets, I met Eric, I met Phil, and then it was Nameless who introduced me to them. And I just started seeing all these people, and now I'm looking at all the other meets, and then I got introduced to like the fire performers, and then there's people that show up in their vehicles, and there's people that show up with art and everything. I'm like, this is a place where artists come to trade and share their creativity. And it's amazing. And I never really considered myself ever a model. I just consider myself an artist. And I work with photographers to be able to share our art, which is, in my case, would either be, I guess in this case, modeling or my costume work or makeup. And in their case, their incredible photography. And it's so cool. It's so cool.
Your art was also, aside from your makeup and your costumes, you do the whole gymnast thing and the posing thing, so you bring a lot to that too.
I do. I'm just backbendy. I could make a whole compilation of just me doing backbends. And I think every single shoot I ever had, or ever have, or ever will have, I will have one photo of me doing a fancy little backbend, and I love it. And I go to shoots, and like there will be other flexible people there, like Tay. I have so many photos of Tay and I like doing backbends, especially on like the doorway at Bombay. We have an awesome like backbend photo of us, and I love it. It's super cool, and it's cool to see like what things you have that can make you unique when it comes to like the photo meets too. So just having a history in dance and doing gymnastics and being an aerialist now, it's really neat to have that kind of, I guess, what is the word? Like coordination to be able to create very like graceful and beautiful shapes. And it's kind of hit or miss too, because every once in a while I'll be like, what if I did this? And then the photographers will say nothing. They'll look at me blank faced, and I'm like, okay, maybe I won't.
I actually recently saw a really cool picture of you. You were like doing the back bend thing, and then your other leg was up in the air, and you were wrapped in some kind of light stuff.
Yes, that was with my very good friend Ernesto. I will give you his Instagram and everything. He attends photo meets. He's a model and a photographer. So he will show up in costume and everything, and then he'll also take photos himself. And I met him through Just Shoot It, and we were talking about a long time ago. I posted like a photo of like dancers, like ballerinas who were like wrapped up in Christmas lights and doing like this kind of shoot. And he hit me up and he says, I have the Christmas lights. I know the location. Let's do it. And I'm here and I'm like, yes. So I go on Pinterest and I'm looking up poses, I'm looking up things I can do. And it was kind of just, it was so fun. It was such a fun, collaborative little thing. And it was in the tunnel that was like right by the Queen Mary. And I had this like giant battery pack that's like tucked in like the back of like my sports bra, and I wrapped all these lights all around me. And just figuring out what shapes and poses we can do. And I have a few very feral ones. So at one point we were talking and just doing whatever, and I'm like, I'm gonna eat the Christmas lights. And he has a photo of me doing this. Like, I'm gonna eat the lights. And just a few of them turned out amazing. And we have a few very feral looking ones that maybe I'll post them on my story or something at one point of just at one thing. I'm like, he's like, can you put your foot over your head? I'm like, no, but I can pick it up like a phone call. I have a photo of me and I have my foot like this. And I'm like, hi, we're here to call you about your car's extended warranty. And it's horrible. And he edited them. They're like professional edited photos of me like eating Christmas lights and picking up my foot like a phone call. It's weird.
You're funny, dude.
So my favorite thing is when photographers, they're like, hey, I want you to look exactly right here. Or I want you to move your hips and like open your arms this way. Now there's like a weird kind of extreme to that where it's like, hey, stick out your butt and suck in your stomach.
Show me some.
Oh yeah. But I love a little bit of direction because some of us aren't professional models. Some of us are just here to vibe and get some cool photos. So as a photographer that also has a lot of experience, they say do whatever you want, but there has to be, you're looking for something, okay? Like, so when I went to the shoot, it was a lot of, okay, well, I'm gonna look at Pinterest, I'm gonna see what poses I can do. What should we do? Oh, I don't know, like it's up to you. And we ended up collaborating, and we ended up like, at one point he was like, hey, like stand up against the wall, I want you to look at the Christmas lights, I want you to look really cool. I'm like, okay. And he's like, ooh, that arch, can you hold that for a little bit longer? I'm like, yes, I can. But when it comes to like more, let's say like scandalous poses, when I look at his photography with the experience I had with him, I can't imagine he asked the models to do that. I felt like the models kind of just already had that in their brain, because with the little direction I got during our shoot, I don't know if he would have been like, I want to see exactly this. So I never really got that impression. I know there are some photographers that want to see more kind of scandalous things, but I've never had anyone ask me for it directly in that sense.
Unfortunately, I have several times, and there's like some horror stories, so just watch it.
Every single shoot I have, it's like tights. And then, like, let's say if there's a wardrobe malfunction or something like that, let's say, I don't know, wind, not everything's out there.
Yeah.
Like, for free? No.
Bella mozzarella, you guys.
Yay! Speaking of which, I eat cheese.
Cheese break. We're gonna take a cheese break.
Oh my god.
What would you say is your greatest strength?
Well, probably that I'm an artist. It's just that's really general. But the thing is, I feel like I can do everything to some level of mediocrity. I have, I think this is like a TikTok thing, but I have like the gene of how hard could it be, and it's gotten me through a lot. So like making those wings like the night before, I had no idea what I was doing, and they turned out great. Or like making a jacket, or I did my very first bleach jacket recently for a gift. No idea what I was doing. I have a level of kind of delulu confidence that gets me through so much artistically because I'm an artist. I think the most recent shoot that was story films, it was like Holidays in Hell. Broke as a joke, couldn't buy anything. I had nothing, I had no ideas. Took random things from my closet. I did this crazy, crazy makeup. And I took out like my flow fans, everything. Turned out great. But there was like a level of, let's say, what is it? Kind of like insecurity going into the community. So I'm like, I don't have the money to buy a new outfit for every shoot. I don't have these expensive like accessories or like props to show off. I'm just me. So then I got into makeup and I started making my own stuff. So it's really like being good with my hands and being good artistically because I'm an artist. I identify as artist.
About your story films outfit, you and Cindy Lou are two people who I could never recognize. I could see you 100 times. When you guys have makeup on, I have no idea who it is. Cindy, I can somewhat figure out if it's like a skeleton makeup. It might take me a second. You, I was at the story films thing. I was maybe like 10 feet away from you, just like staring at you for like a good 10 minutes, like just walking back and forth saying, is that her? Is that not her? Is that her? Is that not her? And what was the giveaway was like after a while, your usual group of friends were around you. I'm like,
Yeah.
that has to be her. And then I heard someone go, hey, Bella. And you're like, huh? And I'm like, got it. Okay, cool. So you do a really good job with that. You do a good job with your makeup. I could never, from one to the next, ever recognize you when you're in costume.
I love that. Thank you.
Yeah. Nope, can't do it. Is there anything else you want to let everybody know or put out there, or a message or something on your heart, something?
Um, this is gonna sound like really weird, kind of like general advice, but it's kind of just what got me into the community and got me into doing things. It's just if you're thinking about doing something or you don't know how to start, just do it. I went to my first photo meet having absolutely no idea what I was doing. I had nothing to wear. I didn't know about any makeup. I think the first meet I went to, I didn't even know people there, and I got to socialize. I got to improve. There's never going to be like the perfect time to start something, and especially in like a community like this, it can be very intimidating. So if you want to start like an art project, if you want to go to an event, if you want to meet people, find an event, find that project and do it. Like there's only so much overthinking we can do to keep us from that thing that we want to do. And I feel like if I kind of was like, well, I don't have like the outfit for this, I don't have the money, I don't have the talent, I don't have the friends, and that would stop me from going to these events, I would not be here. So I know everyone got like that weird like just do it mentality, um, but it's true. It's and if you do it bad. Do it bad, do it unconfident, do it whatever. But I hate this. Just do it. Because you have to suck at something before you get better at it too. And I'm just so happy I had that weird delusion to just go out there. And now I'm with like the greatest people I've known in a really long time.
I love that message. A lot of people's final message is just do it, get out there and do it. So that says a lot. And you guys should just do it. You have something in mind, do it. Do it even if you suck at it, you'll get better. Just do it.
Yeah. One thing I want to add really quick on my experience in just like the short year I've been in like this little community is kind of being safe and comfortable and finding out what your boundaries are. Um, you see a lot of different people who show up to meets, and that's beautiful and that's amazing. But it also, don't let that kind of be a standard for yourself. There will be people who will show up in just lingerie, and there are people who will show up in suits or giant costumes or just regular clothes. And it's hard to not look at other individuals who are posting photos or even like a big quantity of photos and being like, do I have to look like that to get photos? And you don't. Even if it's collaborating with uh, photographers you already know, and being very, very strong about what you are comfortable with and what you are willing to do, is that you're gonna get like photographers that want to collaborate with you. It just happens. You're talented, you're beautiful, you're doing things and people notice you and they want to collaborate with you, and that's amazing. The problem is at that point is to learn how to be safe, because you may see this individual a lot at meets and you may interact, you may get photos from them, but you need to realize you don't know this person as well. So one red flag would be to, like, if they say like, hey, we're gonna stop at my house before we go to the thing, you can change there. You don't really want to change at a person's house you don't know. Another huge red flag, which I've shut down whole collaborations because of this, is if they don't let you bring another person. Always, always bring another person. It could be your boyfriend, girlfriend, best friend. Hit someone up, be like, I'm gonna do a shoot. Can you come with me? To avoid drama, to avoid conflict, always, always bring a separate person. And if they say no, don't do it.
It's hard because there's a lot of people that are kind of pushy as well. And you're right, people
Yeah.
don't want to say no because they don't want to end up on a list of like, oh, they don't want to work with me because I'm difficult or whatever. And I think there are some photographers that might make models feel that way, like, oh, you're being
Yeah.
difficult. I'm just asking you to show me your ass, like whatever,
Yeah.
like something like that.
And it's a horrible feeling. But then the best thing about like this community is that there's some very good eggs.
A lot too. I like that you bring that up. If you ever have a bad experience, it's important to say something to someone, whoever's leading the meet, so that people know who to have around and who to speak to. There have been instances where people have had problems with certain models or photographers, have brought that up, and it's been handled. We do want to make the community very safe for everybody, and we want to make sure people are having fun. I don't want anybody to go home at the end of the day feeling like, wow, I feel like crap, I feel harassed, I feel like I feel some kind of way. It is supposed to be a fun and creative place. One thing you mentioned that I really liked about being alert and aware at meets, that's something that I feel like early on I didn't catch on to because I felt like I was coming new into the community. So from where I was standing, it felt like everybody knew each other. And because I saw people that I personally knew interacting with others, I assumed that they knew each other as well as we knew each other. So I was like, okay, well, if this person's cool with this person, then they're all right. And that wasn't a thing. That wasn't a thing because eventually you find out that at a meet everyone kind of socializes, but they don't really know each other. And there's people there that are complete strangers, maybe just come to like a thing here and there, or maybe they come often, but we don't really know who they are outside the meet. So I think that's really important. And I like that you mentioned that because safety is serious and so is danger. There's been situations. I mean, everybody's heard. Everyone knows that here and there are people that might be trying to, and it is a free event. There's no IDing people.
Anyone
there's no
can
registering.
show up. That's what's beautiful about it.
But it's also dangerous. So
yeah,
it is important to take people with you, do your due diligence. As Bella mentioned, ask people, hey, do you know this person? Is this person good? And even if they do know the person, still take someone with you because one person's experience with someone is not the same as another person's experience with someone. Thank you for all the good points you brought up, Bella. I really do like these. I think they're important to talk about, and I don't think we do that enough. So I feel like putting these things out there and just bringing awareness to it all will probably help make the situation and the environment a little bit more safer and comfortable for everybody. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you for talking to us and letting us get to know you.
Thank you.
This was great. I learned a lot about you that I didn't know, and I'm pleasantly surprised.
Yay.
Did you want to show everyone your cheese carnage before we
Oh my
sign off?
God. Let me count them. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 cheeses.
5 cheeses, you guys. You were 5 cheeses.
Oh my goodness.
Thank you guys for getting